We good? All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Simmering already. Welcome back to another episode of Colavita Cooking Live. I am your host, Elena, the Director of Marketing at Colavita USA. And I'm really excited to have you join me for today's pretty special episode that I'm going to tell you all about. Couple housekeeping things. I'm getting started so I don't bore you with too many steps. Couple housekeeping things. So today I'm going to demonstrate the recipe for our My Colavita Meal Challenge. So back in October, which feels like just a second ago, we hosted a cooking challenge. And the theme of the challenge was simplicity in the kitchen. So we limited the ingredients to 6 only. And 3 of those ingredients needed to be Colavita olive oil, Colavita tomatoes, and Colavita pasta. And then you had 3 other ingredients to play with, as you will. Salt, pepper, and water didn't count. You guys could have those for free. And we asked you to submit your recipes to us on our website, and there would be online social media voting. We picked 4 finalists, and we just voted recently, and so as part of the winning package, I'm demonstrating this recipe for you today. So I'm very excited to report that our winner is Jennifer, and she made a spicy Italian sausage pappardelle. So I'm going to show you how to do now. And her Instagram handle, if you'd like to go check her out, is Sunday Dinner Diary. And we are going to post that link to the recipe in our comments, so you can go check it out and make it for yourself. Also related to our comments, if you do have any questions about this recipe, about anything that I'm doing while I'm demonstrating, please feel free to shout them out in the comments and I will try to get to them. And if you don't get your question answered, I'll try to circle back later and address them then. All right, so I should probably talk about what I'm doing. I am sauteing sausage. And specifically, I am sauteing some spicy sausage. And I wanted to get this started because it takes a little while. And, watching sausage cook is kind of like watching the grass grow, so I didn't want to bore you guys too much. But what I did was, for Jennifer's recipe, again, cooking Jennifer's recipe, not my own, so I want to make sure I get it right, we have used the Colavita roasted garlic olive oil. So this is a super sneaky way. I just said something I didn't want to, trying not to use the word super so many times, everybody. Do you ever find yourself using that word? And there I just did it. This is a fantastic way to get some extra flavor into your sauces without using an extra ingredient. So for this challenge, it was perfect. But it's also perfect for sauces like this because it does add a really nice garlic flavor without any negative benefits if you, for example, aren't very good at digesting garlic. I am not. This will not offend your tummy, so to speak. So it is safe for those reasons and really great for flavor. So I poured about 2 tablespoons of our roasted garlic olive oil into this saute pan, and I also added some crumbled Italian sausage. This is a pork sausage and it is a spicy variety. If you're not into spicy, you could definitely use a sweet Italian sausage. That'd be fine, although Jennifer certainly likes the spicy version and I'm all for it, so here it is.
Jennifer is in and she says,
Hi.
Yay!
Yay! Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for participating. We loved your recipe. We loved your photo. It was beautiful. And my husband and I are going to be very excited to eat this tonight as well. So look at all you've accomplished for us. So a little bit about Jennifer. Grew up, she's a New Yorker and from Brooklyn, loves Italian food. And for her, this was a really simple recipe. It comes together in a flash, but it has a lot of flavor and it's a great example of Italian home cooking. I think most Italian recipes are very simple. I can think of some complicated ones, but you know, these days when we're looking to simplify our ingredients, use what we have on hand, this is a really great way for a meal to come together quickly. You don't really need that much. So let's go through what you do need. So obviously we've used the roasted garlic, extra virgin olive oil, but if you're not into garlic flavor, you could definitely use our premium selection, extra virgin olive oil. Either of those olive oils would be great. And then we had a pound of spicy pork sausage that came in casings. So I just remove them from the casings, and then as I'm sauteing them, I just break them up with my handy little wooden spoon here to get little pieces. Because you have to think about, when you're having a meal like a pasta or a pizza, you have to think about that bite. We were just talking about this. And what you don't want a giant piece of sausage with a little piece of pasta. You want everything to kind of go together. So I break them up as they cook. Now this will probably take about 8 minutes to cook or so. It's pretty much already there. That's why I wanted to kind of get this started. But we're gonna let it sit here while I describe the rest of our ingredients. So we have some salt and pepper. Very important to keep that on hand. We have our Colavita pasta. So Jennifer has called for pappardelle, which are some wide flat noodles that I've already pre-cooked. Let's show you a noodle. Here's a noodle. So I've already pre-cooked and drained this, but most importantly what I have done, making sure this is nice and fluffy, most importantly what I've done is I've reserved our pasta water. I'm not going to need all of this, but this is a very important piece and very smart of Jennifer to include this in the recipe. Whenever I'm making a pasta sauce, I always reserve some pasta water. I might not need all of it, but it helps to thicken the sauce and get the sauce to cling to the pasta. It has, as you can see, it's very cloudy, and all the starch kind of hangs out in this pasta water as it cooked. And starch is a thickening agent, so it's going to help to thicken and adhere the sauce to the pasta. So I've got my pasta water. I've also got my Colavita crushed tomatoes. Now, I believe in Jennifer's recipe she used the diced version, but you could use crushed, or if you wanted, you could put the diced tomatoes in a food processor and whiz them up a little bit for a smoother texture, or if you like the pieces, just use them as they are. So I'm going to add my tomatoes to my sausage right now.
Arlene Wood says it's a simple, delicious meal.
Arlene, welcome back, Arlene. It is, and we very much appreciated your submission as well, which I thought looked pretty good too. So thank you for your submission. Okay, so I'm gonna stir all that up, and now it's very important to season the sauce. So I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper, and I'll probably want to turn the heat down a little bit because I don't want to incinerate everything. So let's see, I'm gonna move some stuff over so you can see. So salt and pepper don't count. I'm gonna put those in right now. You know, I usually eyeball it, but I think for salt, about half a teaspoon will probably do. You can taste it a little later on, once everything's kind of, all the flavors have melded together, to make sure that you've salted it enough. So we're gonna get that going. Now, a few other things I really liked how Jennifer put these together. So usually when you buy a block of Parmesan, there's a rind, which I've already cut off actually. But the rind on the Parmesan is great for adding flavor to things like stocks and sauces like this. So we're gonna actually put our Parmesan rind in. I'm only using half because I'm gonna make this recipe again. So I've halved all my ingredients. I'm gonna stick our Parmesan rind in there. And then whenever you add something like that, it's really important to let it simmer. So Jennifer suggests simmering this sauce for about 20 minutes. We probably won't do all of that on the show, but 20 minutes is good. Giving it a little stir every now and again, keeping an eye on it, making sure it's not boiling or burning. And finally, she suggests adding fresh herbs in the form of basil about 10 leaves or so. I'm just gonna take a whole bunch and stick them in there, and I like to submerge them in the sauce, and that will, the heat will start to infuse the flavor of the basil. Now, the best thing about this recipe is that all these ingredients are used again, and of course they don't count as different ingredients, so we're gonna add extra basil to the finished dish. We're gonna add extra cheese, so that's how this all comes together. Now, while this is cooking, you do a few more housekeeping things. Talk about, let's see.
Joan is in.
Joan, welcome back.
She's gonna give it a try.
This is great. One of my favorite recipes, honestly, probably countless versions of it. You know, you could do different things, but I think that for adhering to the rules in terms of 6 ingredients, simplicity, this is a great recipe that comes together really quickly. So, when we were thinking about challenges, this is fairly new for us to do as a brand, as Colavita. We wanted to do a couple of things. We wanted to engage you guys, our audience, and give you a chance to speak about what you like and give you a chance to participate in our brand conversation, because we know that you guys are cooking things at home. Many of you have been cooking a lot more than usual. I just turned down my heat a little bit. Because of COVID, because we're not eating out as often. And so, giving you guys ideas, but also saying, hey, what are you guys making? So that was the inspiration. And also to be somewhat conservative in your ingredients. You don't need to be running to the store to get 50 different kinds of ingredients for one meal. You can make something delicious with very little. And so that was really the inspiration behind this challenge. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope to do it again with more things. So, keep your eye out for that. Just again, to repeat myself, I know people joined at different times. We are making Jennifer's spicy sausage pappardelle with Colavita crushed tomatoes. And you can find Jennifer over at Sunday Dinner Diary. And you can find our recipe probably in the comments by now. I'm pretty sure it's up there. Okay. So let's talk about a few more things while we're simmering, and then I'm going to show you how to add the pasta with the pasta water, plate it up, and then I will let you go out into the world and try this on your own. So we are now offering in our Colavita online store a 20% discount, and we'll try to plot this code in the comments, but it's called STRAND 2020, STRAND 2020. And the reason it's called that is because with your purchase, you're not only getting 20% off your order, but you're also dedicating 20% of the sales of whatever you buy to supporting the Strand bookstore in New York City. So this is a really great time to help out a family business. They're a great bookstore. They're iconic in New York City. So if you feel like getting some Colavita product and 20% discount and helping out a family business, click on or enter STRAND 2020 in the coupon code on our online store and you will get it. All right, it's almost time to add our pasta. I know I'm speeding things up a bit, and you should definitely let this simmer for about 20 minutes if you're making it at home. I would even turn the heat down, way down low, and maybe put the lid on, with a little crack, because then it's not going to lose all that moisture. You're keeping it trapped in there. So that's a really great tip if you want to go walk down to your mailbox and get the mail or pick up the phone or whatever you need to do. Okay, so at this point you're going to want to take out your Parmesan rind. I have my handy little bowl for this. And you might want to take out that basil that you put in there too. So do that and take out this basil. We're gonna add more later, so don't worry too much. Okay, handy little bowl.
Michael Esposito says, ooh, the garlic Evo.
I know, it's a good one. I'm pretty sure, Michael, that we have this on our Amazon store and our online store too. So, it's a great, great product. I really do like it. All right, so now we are ready to go. I am gonna just put this over here. Creative stacking of dirty utensils, very important to the process. Okay, I am gonna add my pappardelle. I'm gonna scoop this in. These little tongs are very handy. All right, now.
Arlene asked if you eat the rind.
What? Great question. question. I guess, sure, why not? You totally can. I don't think there's any reason why you wouldn't. Maybe I will. I'll have that for a snack later. I don't know. I don't really eat them. I use them mostly for flavor. And when I'm making a stock, I let it simmer in the stock, and then it gets kind of funny looking because it's been saturated with so much water. It almost looks like a sponge when you're done with it. So I'll generally throw it out after I've used it for flavor. But I feel like it's been used, so I don't feel like I'm wasting it at that point. Okay, so one important thing is that you want to make sure you have a pan large enough, because obviously my sauce wasn't taking up that much room, but now that I've added all this pasta, things have changed. So we need enough real estate in our pan and also an apron, because if there's red sauce in the picture, it will be on me. And you want to kind of swirl with your tongs. And now, as I'm making a giant mess, I'm going to add my pasta water. Now this is, I've reserved quite a lot, and I will not use all of this. I kind of eyeball it, because you're going to want to see how it's absorbing into your pasta. You're looking for a creamy sauce. So that pasta water is going to help your pasta get really nice and glossy and creamy, and you might not need that much. You can also add it gradually, a little bit at a time. I'm going to turn up my heat. Now another tip for doing stuff like this, whenever you're finishing your pasta in the pan, it's obviously going to cook a little bit longer than in the pot. So I like to, if your pasta package says cooking time is 8 minutes, you might only cook it for 6. It's a great way to ensure that you won't have soggy noodles. You'll still have a nice al dente pasta. All right, I think this is pretty good, honestly. What do you think? I kind of like it.
Beautiful.
Okay. So now we are going to plate it. So you have two options. You could first turn off your heat. I don't think that's an option. That's kind of imperative. But next, what you need to do is consider, do you want a big serving bowl, or do you want single serving and just plate everybody's bowls? So I'm going to plate it as a single. And I'm going to take a little twirl with my tongs. You could also use one of these handy spaghetti scoops with the kind of like fork ends. And I'm going to put a little in here. You got to make sure that you have enough sausage going on. Now, this would be fun to do as a, amended Thanksgiving recipe. One piece got away from me. And instead use turkey sausage. And who wants to do a pasta dinner for Thanksgiving? By the way, my father would be over the moon, just so happy. He hates a turkey. This would be his dream. But he wouldn't even want the turkey sausage. He'd just want regular. Anyway, all right. So there we go. So one of the great things about this, I'm going to do a little cleanup because I've been ridiculously messy. So we're just going to do a little nice restaurant wipe of the edge of the plate. Make sure it's all nice and clean. So one of the nice things about plating them all individually is that you can kind of make sure that they all look beautiful, have the right amount of sausage. Oh, one escaped. Okay, we'll put you over here. And then we're going to grate our Parmesan cheese over the top. This is also a nice restaurant quality experience at home, because you can just have maybe your significant other or maybe your children grate until you say to stop, and then they can take the cheese block away. That looks good for me. Although for me, I like to keep the cheese on the table because I will be putting more of that on later. And then some extra basil. So a little tip, maybe little known tip to you, but basil is a very delicate herb, and you can certainly chop this, although when you chop basil, it bruises. So the best way to do it is really to tear the leaves so they don't bruise. That's a nice little tip. So I would just do this as much as you want. Obviously, we did not have any limitations on quantities. No, we did, but I mean, overall, of one ingredient, you can use as much of it as you like. I should be clear. All right. And then that's the whole show there, people. And let's see if we can get this nice and close to the camera. What do you guys think? That's beautiful. It's not quite as beautiful as Jennifer's photo was. She took a really lovely photo. If you'd like to see it, please click over to the recipe link, and it will be now hosted forever on our Colavita recipes site, which we're very excited about. Thank you again, Jennifer. And if you want to check her out at Sunday Dinner Diary over on Instagram, please do so. And dinner is made a little early over here, so I am probably going to dive into this soon. So again, thank you guys for joining us. We have been featuring our roasted garlic olive oil for our My Colavita Meal Challenge today with this super easy spicy sausage pappardelle. Comes together in 20 minutes or less, and maybe a little more if you include the pasta cooking time, but you can do things all at the same time. And we hope you guys try this recipe, and thank you, Jennifer, and everyone out there for participating. We hope you come back next week because I have a special Thanksgiving recipe to share with you then. And if you missed any of this, you can watch it again on Facebook or catch us over on Instagram at 3 p.m. All right. Thanks, everybody. Ciao for now.